Can anybody know what do you mean by archives? आपको क्या लगता है archives क्या है? काय वाटतं तुम्हाला? I think पण असेल तरी चुकतो तो माणूस काय एवढं हे नाही तर काय एक्झाम नाही प्लीज पार्टिसिपेशन शिवाय होणार नाही क्योंकि इट इज माय डोमेन सो आई शुड नो की व्हाट यू थिंक all documents that can be saved and preserved for a long time. Yes, जुन्या वस्तूंचा संग्रह राईट मेनली आर्काइव्स मध्ये जे हे केलं जातं ना मेनली आर्काइव्स प्रिझर्व अ रेकॉर्ड it can be a many formats like electronic formats, it can be a paper format, and it can be any type of the information, but record, it should be a record, right? So what is the archives actually? archives archives is an organization body of records created or received. If we can take an example of your institution, if institution is there, you can say that your institution started from the 1948. We can take a 1948, but it is established on 1948, but this it starts from, it's historical. The process is itself starts from the many years before. So the documents we have to preserve, the records which is created on that time, we can archive in the one dedicated department that we can say it's archives. Organized, so archives is a record, organized body of records. It's called archives. By whom? Okay, I can't use too much, so please. It's a by record created by any of the government agencies. Like you can take a National Archives of India (NAI). So just a minute, please. Sorry, it's by the government agency, institution, organization, company, family, individuals, prepared respective agencies or individuals. Prepared for means if you take any institution or a family or any individual, like if you visit Tata Archives, mainly the Tata Archives preserve all the JRD Tata related documents in Tata Archives. So it can be individual also, it can be government also, and it can be an institution or family also. For family also. For what the actual records means, it's a records means individual exhibit evidence. We can say evidence, functions, policies, decisions that can be stored in a delegated place, and it can be organized in the that department or that body. It can, we can say so we particularly we say all we are talking about the record only. So what is record actually? Can anybody, all our maybe I assume that all our library science professionals here, what is record?
Sir, sorry to disturb you. Not only the library science student, but arts commerce students and arts commerce faculties are also there.
Okay. So anybody from the library science, anybody told me, or commerce students also, they are recording many entries. What is record? It's activity or transaction that was happened in the past, that we can say a record, right? If you are putting any note, if you are putting doing anything, and after the doing the things, it can be a record. So we always say that passing the records and all the record entries from the commerce side, from the any side. So it's a what the record actually tells about you is a history, right? It can be a piece of information. It's a document, any type of document we can say, and it show you a particularly about the history. So it's tell about the history. If you are taking any type, any letter, it told you a history about the that time's scenario or the particular thing or something regarding about it. So it can be a number of pages, or we can't say it's a one page or it's a half page or it's a 10 pages. It's number of the pages for a single event, like opening a college in the your campus. It can't be a one single document. It can be a files, right? So whatever. Mainly what occurs is it's a record. It's a record that preserve all the things, right? We are talking about the always we are talking about the record or file, right? Means if you are working anywhere, I hope I am audible. Sorry, the nice was there. What the actually record means you can take any of files in your office, right? When you subscribe any type of journal, international piece of evidence. If we are taking any if you assume that you are working in the office environment, whether it is in a library, whether it is in an administrative office, whether in a department things, you have to create a many type of documents like a subscription of the any journal. It can be a file, right? So or the position vacancies, various vacancies, your promotion related things in administrative matters. It can be a record, and it should be stored in a particular way that you can access easily. It can be accessed through the right manner on a time. Right information to the right user. When we always say that if you want to save the user's time, it should be a right information in a right time to the right users, right? So all the things we have to manage it, right? So we'll always talk about the records in the if we can take a example of any book is a organized thing, right? You can get a chapters there. You can take a means you can find an author name, publisher name, when it is published, the place of the book. You can take it. Actually, all the things are paginated there, and it is a completely bound document. You get a ready reference. We can say as an information product for that. But in the office manner, you can't find out all the things. You have to first give the subject to the file. When you open any file, you have to put a subject on the file, and the mainly the period of the file. Means it's pertaining journal subscription pertaining to 2018, or the admission for the students, for the BCom students for the 2018. And you have to particularly timeline that, and all these documents related with the file, you have to paste it, and you have to take a always maintain a page number on the file physically. You can't get things like a books ready product. You can't. You have to create the product and finalize the product, right? So every piece, what is a document? You can actually say that every piece of information is a document. Maybe it can be a oral history. Maybe you can say that any type of things. Means you are purchasing a pen drive. The invoice is itself a document, right, of the pen drive. Anything you take a piece of information is a document. But every is simultaneously every record is a document. But every document can't be a record, right? Because if you are going to the bank, you will fill it withdrawal slip. You go to the bank and go to the cashier counter, and you fill the withdrawal slip. If the withdrawal slip is a document, but it's not a record for the bank also. Sometimes it is a record, but not for always time, because it's a daily routine for them. They store it in another year, but your passbook is a permanent thing for them. So we can say your passbook entry is a permanent record for them. It's a record for them, not your withdrawal slip. You can means you can fill the withdrawal slip and you did some mistakes, so you can't submit the withdrawal slip to them. Only the final copy of the withdrawal slip you submitted to them. It can be a record, but others, the withdrawal slip is a document. So the basic thing is, records are the history that give you a particular times information. It cannot be every record can't be a documents, but every documents can be a record. Hello, I am audible, I hope.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. मॅडम कोणी काय बोलतच नाही किंवा काय, यू कॅन मीन्स यू कॅन डिस्टर्ब मी ऑलवेज. डोंट गो ऑन अ फॉर्मल, कारण की आज रविवार आहे आणि सगळ्यांचा रविवार डिस्ट्रॉय केला, तर तुम्ही मला ट्रबल करू शकता मध्ये मध्ये की काय
काही प्रॉब्लेम.
आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द पार्टिसिपेंट्स मॅम. तर लिटिल बिट इंट्रोडक्शन, म्हणजे जे काही स्टुडंट्स आहेत कॉमर्सचे, they can ask me question about the RBI recruitment and all, and afterwards, not now. आणि त्यांना जर आरबीआयच्या रेकॉर्ड मॅनेजमेंट बद्दल काही हे असेल शंका, जे लायब्ररियन्सचे आहेत किंवा बाकीचे जे आहेत, त्याबद्दल आपण मध्ये मध्ये तुम्हाला विचारू शकतात तुमच्याकडे रेकॉर्ड मॅनेजमेंट कसं चालतं. वी आर टॉकिंग. ओके, आय थिंक निकिता धांडले मॅडम हॅज रेज्ड देअर हँड. Okay, by mistake maybe. So what we talk about the record. What is the record and what it may be, but how to manage this record? I already told that the record should be a historic record, is a history, and the history has an importance. That record can be archived in the archives, right? Can be preserved in the archives. So how we manage these things? How this we have to manage this record with them. Manage means you have to take care of all the live things. So it's very simple. You can say that record management is nothing but a creation or receipt of records, maintenance and use of records, and disposal of records is the life cycle of the record, and we have to manage all the things, right? It's a Brahma Vishnu Mahesh, like Brahma can creator, Vishnu can be CD maintenance and use and all that, take care of all the things, and destroy is like Shiva. So any departments, it's your creation side. Means in the college you can say administrative, library, various departments, and they are the creator of the information record, and it will be stored in that particular way. Many in the Maharashtra, we can't say much record rooms in the educational institute. I don't know why, because they are less aware. And if you maintain the well, you can get a good organizational history. Not only for that, you can see many of the institution asking information at the NAC visit. If they store their NAC visit history in the particular files and keep it in the record room, and when they need, they can go and access that record. At that time, half of the things will be easy one, because last time 5 years before, many of the faculties are transferred or retired from the institute, and we can't get all the necessary. We have to call them, and the oral history they preserve in their brains, so they have to recall out there, and it is not possible that you can get all the information in one time. But you maintain it in the written format, you will get all the information in a right time, within the correct information in a correct manner in the right time. So, and those records are not much usable in the history. In the future, you can say we can preserve on some days. After that, we can dispose. It is okay. It is a time. Hello. It is a time that you can destroy that record, and if it is usable, you have to maintain it well, right? So, what the cycle of record? It's a creation, distribution. Just I say now, the things like you have to create any particular event you are taking with. Like if you want to subscribe new things in your library, like ebooks now, ebooks, various consortia are there. If you want, first time you are subscribing it, you have to put a proper note that these the things we need to should be subscribed in our library as per the UGC mandates and all. You can take approval itself. You can get it in a if you have a gap in the future, you can recall this, that we have this subscription on that time, we have a record, right? So it can be a creator distribution among the right agencies, then the take it in the proper way, use it, and disposal of the record. So the thing is, right, if you do like first time you are doing certificate course on open access I don't know remember the name, sorry. So if you are doing any certificate course,
Resources, sir.
Resources, open access resources, sorry. Thank you, ma'am. So first time you are doing these things, so you directly go to the principal and say we want to organize one certificate course on open access resources. It is not that way. You have to put it a note asking approval from principal. It is a creation stage, right? And after till the approval or till the finish of the program, it will be a semi-current one. Always you want a means it's a current one. You get a approval, and in the process of this period, total period, you can say these 15 days, you have to use this which section today, who will they will take a lecture, who will coordinate, who will manage all the things. You will always take information from that file, right? After the completion of the this course, you maintain that file and keep it separately, or doesn't require more, right? Keep it there. If next time you again wants to create any organize any certification course on open access resources or anything else, you can get a information there, how we can take all the approval, how we can organize this thing. You will get all the information from that file. So your half of the things automatically done by seeking that file, and you get a proper history from there. And you also noted in the next approval note that past on this date we organize open access resources certificate course on from this and this, and it is a highly success. So we want to go another field, and taking lot of means you taking the approval, it can be an easier one, and it color history also, and it will get documented history, we can say. And you are getting all the approval in as a sign, so it is an official document that nobody can deny. After some days, if we recall that, after some days we don't need, because we can say the first online first certification course is the historical thing, and in between you are organized 10 15 certification course, but middle that file is not much more required, so you can discard it, destroy it. But first file is a history. First file is a history, and you should preserve the history. To preserve, how to preserve, we can say how to preserve. We can take up another one slide, right? So in the disposal of the record, I say between if you take a 15 certification course, and first is the historical one, and all are in the similar line, you can say you just go and apprise that files. See what are the importance in that files, what are the important documents, records in that files, and those regular nature things. Preserve only one, that you can start it from there, and others you can destroy actually. So you have to actual apprise for that on site appraisal, we say. and those historical important records, like if you in the inaugural section, in the inaugural vice chancellor sir was inaugurated this post, so his appreciation letter, you got it from the VC's office. So it is a permanent thing. So you permanently preserve the record. So you can say stages of record management. It's a creation, re-recording, categorization. That we can say that categorization means certificate course for online access, certification for IT, certification course for commerce students. Right? You just a categorization, reschedule it, refiling it, and make it classified it. See, the if files came from the library, you put it in the library section, so you can easily access that it's pertaining to library section. So we are, if this is in the record room, it's a library. And the each and every page, because each and every page or some of the documents telling about the different history, means in the one file you can say a lot of letters are there, lot of approvals are there. At least we have mandated that we should not go 250 pages per file. So lot of things are there. So index it in the front page like a book. You can say if you open the book, in the table of content, you will get which part, which chapter I will go put it in the which page. So in the file also, you have to all the subject index, all the matters. You just write down the subject and date. Particular date is very important because all are pertaining with the different dates. You can say in journals, the published journals, we always talking about the volume, issue number, and the period also. Why period is important? Because period you can relate with the time, actual time with the documents. So date is important and page number. So you can easily go through the file, and the cycle will always you can create it, index it. After some time, if it is inactive, destroy it. If it is a permanent in nature, you can preserve it. Why permanent in nature? When you write down the like a T, you can say staff related matters are permanent files, but in the salary is not a permanent, it's a continuous things. So you always mention a file preservation period. It can be for 3 years. After closing, you have to put it a close file date also after the closing, and preserve for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, as you can. So in the RTI, you can say that record retention schedule is the mandate. If you ask any information and if you ask any information in the RTI, and the concern office says that we don't have that papers, we destroy the files. So ask them a record retention schedule. If record retention schedule is not there, they are not maintaining, they should not destroy the file. For government agencies, those who comes under the RTI. But why should we limit it with the government things? We should maintain the record such type of it, so nobody can question our dignity, right? So if any institutional owner, they want some files, they can. So maintain a record retention schedule. In record retention schedule means you have a file number, the subject of the file, and how many years you have to preserve it. Take it a proper approval from the competent authority, and it can be your record retention schedule. After the destruction of the files, maintain record this type of files. These files we have dispose of. So nobody can ask you that legally. Nobody can ask you why you are destroying these files, because you have a right. So responsibility when we maintain this record, that we have to be a record retention file for schedule. We have to know very well, right? We have to periodical visit in the record room or the departmental files. It should be go through the proper area and should be maintained well, and should be simultaneously periodically sent to your record room. Always apprise these things, And while you are appraising, the appraisal means you have to go through the files and see what are the administrative, historical, legal, and the maybe in a famous information do you have, like any functions you have organized it in your area. It's a famous one. We like to see photographs and all. So take it from the departmental record room and send it your permanent institutional record room. We are talking about RTI. Why record is important? There is some legality in the records. The government of India or even Maharashtra government also publish we have acts, and the first acts come in Destruction of Records Act 1879 and 1970. Why these things came? We always say British rule India, but whenever you visit in Great Britain, you can say lots of archives there, lots of historical buildings are there. Why they rule all over the world? Because of their record policy. They preserve in such a way that they get a right information in right person from the beginning. So if anybody asks why British ruled India, it is one of the aspect of the record management by the Britishers. And it is a British legacy we are now following in the RBI or Indian National Archives of India. So first records by Britishers, then it will modify an archival resolution in 1970, policy for 1972. Then came Public Records Act 1993. It gives us very much power to NAI, National Archives of India, to preserve all the things in a National Archives policy. And then came Public Records Rule in 1997. The Public Records Act in 1930 as a protector of public records means the government agencies, those who have they have the record, they should be they can't be destroyed without the approval of the Director General or head of the archives. Head of the Director General is an IS officer in National Archives of India. And the section 4 of Public Records Act says that no person shall take or cause to be taken out of India any public record without the prior approval of the central government. So if you taking any papers like acts, or it can, if anybody found you have to they will punish you at least 5 years jail or 5,000 rupees or both. You will get a fine. So always deal the record. Records are very important, and you can't take a records without approval of the competent authority. Like if you are working in a library, you can books. You are a library. If you want to take a books, it should be permission by the principal or the who means maybe in a principal as per the rules. So this is same. You can say here also. Then we are talking about why the importance that the record management is important. You can say I have write down some aspect like cost, facility, performance, protection, and evidence. These are the very much important aspect of the record. When you are a librarian, most of the librarians can't transfer from one year place to another place because they know the library very well, and they have some techniques. They can find out the information in a time, documents, mainly documents in a right time to the right user. So they can save your time. They know all the things. But what we can do after they are retiring? So maintain a record, so they can go through the record when the destruction was happened, when the weeded out books was happened, how many weeded out books we have done in the past. We should know all the cost benefit analysis also provide. We can't take a phone and call them and ask them, madam, can you in this year how many books you have weeded out? We can't. So this is the records that you can, this is the record, we can get the right information in a right time, so we don't need a person interface in our record Always follow if you manage the record room, always follow these three things. It's a custody, care, and consultation. Always means custody. You have to, if you are in the custody, make a proper care of the records, like making an indexing, storing in a right place, making the catalogs or whatever you have tools, and always consult with the nodal agency as well as the department, who is creator of this record. Means if you talk with the book writer, you can get more information about that book which is not written on the book. Like the same, if you are talking about the files, always talk about the relating file matters. So the record keeper can we can say record keeper, we always say the archivist or the information professional, who can give the much more idea, and he can store in his records, and so we get the best record history along with I don't think most of the institution participate in the course. They have their opening of the college or photographs right now. Maybe it is in administration, with the administration, or my thing is, take that photographs, make a subject wise albums, and make a index of that albums, who in the photos, the date of the photo when it took, who in the photo showing each and every photo, catalog it, index it, so we can get the information. And when we celebrate 15 years, 25 years golden jubilee, silver jubilee, what a platinum jubilee, we can show that photographs. At that time you can relate the history on that time. So what the condition is, what the resources they have on that time, what we are now, what we are now, means we are celebrating the golden jubilee. We have two documents, mainly that opening of the institution and silver jubilee of the institution. And that in the golden jubilee we can show these things, that the how the transformation of the time institution, we can relate the history with on that time. So it can be a good information product, you can say, to our users. It's a view of RBI record room. We have 24/7 round the clock AC, and it's a record. We are putting in a compactor, and it's the cleanest record room in the archives in India. As a National Archives of India director says earlier when he visited our archives. So it's you can say it's pointer. You can say here these are the acid-free handmade paper boxes, and we put all the files in these boxes, and nomenclated which department, which file accession number is there, and all. So you can say here, you can see. It's all the handmade paper boxes, and we have landscape horizontal format. We put it all the files, so files can be kept, and we can use number of years, right? So it's a view of national. We can move to the actual topic of the National Archives of India. It's established in 1981 by British. That time they call as empirical record documents, and after the independence, name was changed. And it established in Kolkata. You can relate the Kolkata in the National Library, also in Kolkata. And Britishers mainly they have established their things in the Kolkata itself. So they established the record department, empirical record department, in the 1891 in Calcutta. The empirical after the established empirical record department established in 11th March 1991, at Calcutta and transferred to Delhi in 1926 to 37, because documents we have to shift it, and that time logistics are very limited in India, so they took time for the transfer from Calcutta to Delhi. And after the independence, the name changed as a National Archives of India. National Archives of India headquarters is in New Delhi, and they have a regional office at Bhopal. And their record centers, they have created record centers as a disaster management policy to the Jaipur, Bhubaneswar, and Pondicherry. And you can say, you can relate the Bhopal, it's maybe in somewhere central India. So if any crisis, the record may be easy to ship anywhere from the Bhopal to any part of India for disaster management. Policy behind that. Yeah. So we have the National Archives of India comes under Government of India, Ministry of Culture, and the headed by the Director General of Archives as an IS officer. One IS officer will be headed. Is heading, and the policy like that. They started recruitment as assistant archivist for the core staff. They have administrative staff and various departments. After archivist also there, and 4 deputy directors are there. When we say other institutional archives, we have university archives like Delhi University have their Delhi University archives. State archives, yes. State archives mainly focus on the land records. If any dispute is happen, they refer land records from the state archives mainly. Some business archives like Tata archives is there, Dr. Reddy's Labs archives there. Even the Godrej archives is there. You can visit and you can say. The oldest archives in the world, that is the National Archives of France, is established in 1790s. In 18th century, they itself established in the Paris as a National Archives of France. So we can move from the to the RBI archives now. Is there any question about National Archives? Any question about National Archives of India? I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Shall I move to RBI Archives?
Yes.
RBI Archives is established on 24th August 1981 in the Pune, earlier known as Central Records and Documentation Center. Now is heading Dr. R.L. Sahu, Chief Archivist General Manager. He is heading the RBI Archives. It is located in Pune. Why Pune we established? Our office in Mumbai, but you can see the climate. It's more humidity things is there. More humidity you can find out in the air in Mumbai, but in Pune the temperature we can see all the we can say all environment we can feel here. So we established in we have a location in Pune, so that's why we the bank established the archives in Pune. In 2009 the name was changed as a Reserve Bank of India Archives. It's a vision. Every organization has their vision, and we have to vision to adopt the best standards for our permanent records, and it should be preserved in electronically also. We are not preserved in a paper format only. We also preserve some electronic photographs, microfilms, all the things. We have a mission to provide these invaluable records to the future generation in a right way. The future generation in the legacy, the main record should be available to in future, because we are dealing with this money. You can say RBI always come for the money, so the record should be exchanged with the future generation. function of the RBI, we can say we preserve all the current permanent records more than 12 years old, only preserved in the RBI archives. Why 12 years old? Government of India, National Archives of India preserve after 25 years. Till that time, the records in the ministerials or the respective departments only. In the likewise in RBI, we preserve non-current permanent record, only permanent record, not those like a leave application and all. We can't preserve because it's a routine nature of the things. We can't preserve that type of things. We only preserve the historical importance, file this policy decision and all. We go apprise the documents. We consult with the department, and those have a importance in nature. Only documents transferred to the RBI archives after the closing of the 12 years. We provide a scientific preservation of the records. Like after the 12 years, you can assume that the people's handling the files is not a well. It can be a dusty, it can be a tear of its pages and all. So we can't. We have to provide a scientific preservation, like a deacidification, even tissue repair and all. We are doing in the RBI archives, providing the acid-free handmade paper boxes, the kit covers, and the pages that we are pasting in the RBI archives, providing retrieval services to the research facility, to the research scholars and the RBI staff itself. We maintain a RBI archival library. We preserve only RBI published publication and the allied, so those who are means the banking related things in book. We preserve 3 publication of the RBI. If you want a RBI bulletin, first bulletin of the RBI, we have 3 copies. 1 is for access and 2 is permanent preserve for the should not be damaged, and we should provide all the in a right manner. That's why we have preserved 3 copies of each and every publication published by RBI only. We work as a nodal agency in respect of record management. Means how the file system should be in the bank, how papers should be documented in the files. We have a for this we have a archival management policy, and we working on it, and we always give advice to the bank. Should be we have RBI archives museum, some artifacts, some paper documents we are putting in the museum, and museum is open to all. You can visit. Now the COVID restrictions are there. After the COVID, we again open to the public, and you can visit the send your request to the RBI archives, and RBI archives will approve your request, and your visit will be conducted by the RBI archives. Access, if it means we have a permanent nature, historical, legal, and important record in our record. So we have rules who can access or who can't access, because we can't like चलो आज मेरा मूड ठीक है, आज मैं इसको अलाउ करूंगा, उसको नहीं अलाउ करूंगा. अपर्णा मैडम ने मुझे बुलाया आज, चलो मैं अपर्णा मैडम को फुल एक्सेस दूंगा, और इन्होंने मुझे नहीं बुलाया था तो दूसरों को तो मैं उनको नहीं एक्सेस दूंगा. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. वी हैव अ रूल in the RBI. We play as a role. Everything has a rules, and we act on it. So we have a Reserve Bank of India historical research rules. It implemented in 2001. It's approved by the Central Board of the RBI. Who can access these records? The bona fide research scholars, postgraduate students, RBI staff, other bank staff relating with their bank's documents. They can approach to us. Mainly, we allow to postgraduate students for their dissertation also, because they need, and we have a lot of historical value and banking. Those who are doing the research in the banking, they regularly visit the RBI archives, and they should be bona fide research scholars. So we allow them. Which type of access record we allow to them? As per the rules now, 30 years if the document is not classified. Then 30 years, they can take a photocopy on request, or taking, they can see the documents. If they want some notes from that, we allow from the notes. We provide a photocopy servicing. Right. We can't say Xerox, because Xerox is a copyright word. So always say a photocopy. So we allow some files classified. Do anybody know the classified information? How we can classify the files? It's like a confidential, top confidential, secret, right? Those files we can't give to the access. And if it's a 16 years old, or a department, the particular department, like the files pertaining to the DEPR, Department of Economics and Policy Research. So we ask them to, if any research scholars want that document, so we take a proper permission from the particular department. If department found okay, we are. Hello? Any problem? I think so, no. So if the department has don't have any problem with that particular document, we can give a photocopy of that document for research purpose. Outside RBI, we give only a research purpose material, not for the evidence or anything. You can write an email to rbiarchives@rbi.org.in, and you will get all the information regarding your visit, regarding any access of the record, anything like you want to know about from the RBI archives. So I will play one video relating to RBI. My request, madam, please stop the recording so we can play a record. Aparna, madam, can you please pause the recording?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Please, please, please. In this video, you can get the idea about the RBI archives. I think my laptop is going to. Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So there are some questions from the participant side.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I can see. I just play the video that if it is audio is not there, but you can get the idea what the archives is. Actually, you see the lots of like Jawaharlal Nehru's letter, Indira Gandhi's letter, right? So this type of important letters or documents we have. So we will move for the question answer, and we'll I have another how to preserve a record. I have another one slide presentation, and I'm sorry I gave a time. It is okay to take it more than prescribed time, right? Hello, I'm audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So how process issue and return, I already of archival material, I already stated that we are not doing any outside issue and return. We only share the information with the central office department in a soft format, and those who are bona fide research scholars, we give photocopies of the documents. We should not be classified information. If not there, then only we'll show you. For the research scholars and all, we always help the research scholars, and only you can access, if you want to access these records, you have to visit the RBI archives now. How to important of data creation concept to keeping records. Is there any functions? Ma'am, creation of a record is the continuous process, right? Now we are taking a lectures. It's a creation. It's a record, and it's a process. You have to identify for the purpose mainly. If the official purpose or the official, when you putting any note or asking for any approval from the higher ups, it may be you can realize that if whether it is importantness. If it is in a regular nature, it is that doesn't need to keep it, but it is a historical one, legal one, or important one. So it can be a record. It's not a document. It's a document, but it is a recorded documents, we can say. Like if the higher ups sign any documents, it is authorized document, we can say. Otherwise, I put a letter and I can't sign on that. So it's my letter. Nobody can say it's my letter. But if I write down on that letter, it can be authorization on that letter, and it can be a recorded. We can say it can be a record. Right. I hope, Pallavi madam, you get the concept. Ji, sir, please tell us about open source record management software which are useful in a library record keeping. Right. Sir, first thing, the subject file number is the subject, depends upon a file number. But you can give a particular accession number concept in for files. Right. If you put a file accession number in a particular file, it can't be, the accession number can't be repeated, right? So you get a unique identity number to your file, and you treat as a book, page numbering it, indexing it, and you put it. You can use a ellipsis also, Koa also, any metadata software. You can store it and recall it for that. It's not a particular software for the archival. We can automation software. We can say that if the file is microfilm or not, if the file digitized or not, if the file scientific preserve or not. In the archives, we are doing things like see, paper has a life, right? So we are doing microfilming. Why we are microfilming? Microfilming all the file because it's a historical one, and if hazard is happening, fire hazard, and the file is destroyed. So the only evidence we can produce in court of law, it's a microfilm, not the scan one. Always remember that. So scan the microfilm. If you put in ideal condition, like if you maintain your record room in the 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, and the humidity should not be plus minus 50 degree, 50% plus minus 5. It's okay. It will preserve the microfilming up to 500 years. Microfilm is an analog media. Digitization is a digital media. Digitization, we can get the records, we can retrieve, quick retrieval, we can say the digitizing. We get the quick retrieval from it. But in a microfilm, you can't get a quick retrieval, but you can preserve this file up to 500 years. So in future, any person want that information, you will get it in a authorized way. Authentication of the information is very much important criteria. That's why archives is there, not the libraries are there. Why archives is there? Because they have a right by the law that they can produce a attested copy, and it will be a authorized documents. So that's why we are maintaining. And if we are doing digitization also. If you want to digitize, we take a three types of digitized form. One is a TIFF. Why TIFF? TIFF is a open standard. If you reduce his file size, and again you can increase his file size, you will get an original document. But JPEG is a file format that you will never get. It's a compressed version, and you never get. You can access immediately when you click on a JPEG file like MP4. It can be accessed, but you can't be original. You can get the original shape to that files. So we take a one TIFF. Second is PDF-A. PDF is archival quality. If you say the file types of PDF, you will get a number of PDF files like PDF B12, PDF-C. It depends upon what type you want. We take a PDF-A, archival quality PDF. We take it because it should be run on a long run basis. Like you can say earlier the Microsoft are using .txt for this my MS Word file format. Then they started DOC, like doc. Now they are using DOCX. After 5 years, they also again change the file format. So we don't want to I'll always not access that files, and we will get the file format from that. That's why we are getting PDF here. We are not trust only of our print document format only. We are so it can be easily convertible with his original things. And when taking and with third file format, we are only access quality PDF. It's just a simple PDF. We have the size is lesser than the PDF archival quality. So when we put it on the software, it should be easily accessed, easily downloaded, and your bandwidth should not be much more usable. So you can copy metadata, so you can use any library software. Just you have to put it one accession number in your file, paginate all the file, indexing it, and you will get all the. It's like a information product, we can say, a file product that like a book. We are doing all the things. You can do it all the things. You have to total page numbers. You have a creator department also with you, right? Means author, we can say author is creator of departments. You can cross-referencing that file also, like the letters in the file. Who is the means principal, vice chancellor, whatever it may be. They can cross-reference. You get the data also. You can get the note file. All the metadata files you can. You will also use in Ellipsis. Ellipsis is a copyright software. Right now, most of the libraries are Soul, Koha, anything. You can put it on that. Even you use in a DSpace also, that you can retrieve for retrieval purpose. You had if you don't have a scan copy, but you want to search the particular subject, you can search it, get the accession number, you will get the file. Please tell us open source account management software, record management software, which are useful in that. Open source is like a DSpace and all. Open source means what? Like if the license, we can talk about the Ellipsis. It's like a order in a hotel. Any sabzi you want, just order. I want this, and they will make it all the things, and the final product will come to you. But in the open source of software, what you have to do it? You have to go to the market, purchase of vegetables, spices, and all related material. Come to home. You have to cook all the things, and you have to make it like you. It should be a spicy one. You will make a spicy one. It's less spicy, less spicy, less oily, less oily. It's like open source. You can define like this. If you are ready material, you have to purchase it, and copyright, of course, with the trademark and all, copyright with the bank. With the particular software company. And if you are the open source, means there is no copyright on that. You have to go in the market, purchase the vegetables and all, come here, make it, and have your lunch, dinner, and breakfast, whatever you want. It's like a term, open source and the commercial one, as per my knowledge, sir. Any question or any other questions, madam? Curation. Pallavi madam, I will take another section. I want to take the right now one. Now we have a record, right? And we have to preserve the record. So what should we have to do? Right. So I have one presentation on it. I will share my screen. When we have physical file in a record room, and we have to maintain that file in a good manner, and the file is historical. We assume that the file is historical one, and we have to. So what we are doing first, remove the acidic content from the file. Before that, we have to do for the acidic content, we have to go some chemical process, like all know khanacha soda, dhunyacha soda, right? The hydrotoxic, you just go. So what we are doing, we have so what we are doing in your record room should be some things in your side should take care of it, so it can be a less damaging things to your file. Human is the one of the aspect who can elements of the paper. So before, how to file the papers in a filing is a main important, because if you want to preserve your records in a good manner, you should see the paper should be in a good manner filing always. And how to use the things I will show in this presentation. You can see here, always file you have you can say always put a blank paper in a starting of the file, end of the file. Why? When you tag the file, it always damage first and last paper. So please put one blank paper on that file, so it can, the next paper we can say it will be a safer one, right? We always always we file the papers directly whenever we get. We directly started to filing it, and after the closing it, afterwards you can see the damaging things. You can see here the ionic content. You can see in the right side of your screen that iron content is there, right? And when we punch it, you can see the tear of the papers. So whenever you starting any file, put the start page and end page in your file. Here we can say we are deacidified it file. It's actually काय करतो आम्ही की we are doing like की जो धुण्याचा सोडा आहे तो हा 1 किलो 15 लिटर पाण्यात ठेवायचा. 15 लिटर पाणी घ्यायचं आणि त्याच्यात एक पेपर्स मध्ये एका फाईलच्या ह्याच्यात तो त्या पाण्यात 15 मिनिटं ठेवायचा. यू पुट इट इन 15 मिनिट्स इन दॅट केमिकल. आफ्टरवर्ड you just put it in the water, and afterward put it in a hydrochloride powder with the same chemical. It's like a म्हणजे खाण्याचा सोडा जो आहे त्यात ते ठेवायचं. आणि त्यानंतर मग you can see this the paper quality. You can see remove all the acidic content from the papers, and all the acidic contents and all, when removed, it will enhance your file. After that, we put, if the paper is double side printed, we put Japanese tissue paper and paste it CMC paste. You can get a CMC powder in the chemical shop, and this chemical you have to boil with the water the powder. I think to take a 2 or 3 tablespoon, and you can boil along with the water. The paste will come, and then why this CMC? It can't be harm your paper. Actually, when the paper making process, CMC is using. That's why after the removing all the acidic content, if you want to paste it, means if you are single side printed, we paste one paper 90 GSM acid-free handmade papers with the use of CMC paste. And if page is written by both the side, so we'll take a Japanese tissue paper and put a paper in the middle, and put it in the middle, and tissue like a sandwich. The one tissue paper in the back and one tissue paper in the front, and we will just paste it by the CMC. So what the process, why we are using CMC? If the tissue paper or the paper also damaged in the future, we just go put it in the water, the original paper will come. When you laminate any document, you always say that you are laminating plastic lamination. After some days, it's starting to come. You can't retrieve the original documents. But in this CMC, you get original document as it is, and we again laminate by the CMC by using the 90 GSM acid-free handmade papers or the Japanese tissue paper. So you will get the paper signed at least one time. This process, at least 17 to 80 years, it will enhance his paper life. So always you can say put it to page numbers in the right side of the year, and put it. What we are doing in RBI, we put it accession number on the page. If the in the process, if the page, it's a highly chance that the paper may be So what we are doing, the page number along with the accession number, we put it on the head of this paper, so we can easily retrieve the paper. So four aspects whenever you have to take it any documents. What we are doing, we are always pin it, right, staple it. So after some days you can see in the picture the damage these things, because the acetic ironing content in the pins, staple pins or U pins, clips, you always they are always harmful for the paper. So if the record is well filing, remove that, remove all the things first. If you can't remove, even plastic things also damage the papers. So whenever you are filing, it's in a tag format and it's in a permanent preservation. So we can say that we can say that it in the future it's not a good. So remove all the U pins, clips, whatever you have in the file. So you can see here the some when they tear any important, it's a very important committee paper, and after the construction for this committee, what they are doing, they are just putting a sellotape, you can say, and after this putting the sellotape, it's damaged very badly to the documents, very badly. Now they feel that yes, they are means उन्होंने protect किया paper को, वो paper ऐसे रहेगा. No, it's not like that. It's like this after some days, right? So we have to do one is acetone chemical is there. We have to remove this adhesive of the paper, and it's a very crucial period. We have to heat it. While they hitting the tape, we have to very much careful that heat should be not paper, because of paper will get totally. So before that, we have to very much careful. So there's a two type of removing the technique. It's a hot process and it's a cooling process. What we are doing in the cooling process, what we are doing, we'll take a CMC paste, freeze it, and there will it will be a like a silicone, and put it on the sellotape and starting very slowly to remove that sellotape. Like you can see chewing gum. If you want to remove the chewing gum, you have to put it in ice. So chewing gum can take a more harder, and we can easily take off the chewing gum from the hair and all. Right, it's the same process, heating or cooling. So heating is a very much risky process. Mostly we are using the cooling process by using a CMC paste. And for removing, we have to use acetone. If you want to remove, you can use the acetone in a very systematic manner. If before applying, just apply in the less means any document, and then only you can apply on the actual paper, because actual paper is very much important for us, right? You can say the same thing. Paper is literally फाटला तो पूर्णपणे मध्ये जे लावलाय त्यामुळे. So you can see the very much important. It is a very highly chance to remove that information in the sellotape behind. You can see it's a very crucial process to remove the things, and it can be you can say the all the display documents, it's in another shape. We are permanent damaging that documents. So don't put anything. If you have any techniques, you want to just take a tissue paper, take a CMC paste, and along with the water, boil it, make a paste, and stick it. It can stick very well, and it will not damage the papers. But using a sellotapes and glue, adhesive glue, it's very much problematic on the for the documents also, and for future generation also. You can see most of the documents like you can see the documents we have to very carefully have to remove along with the spatula and all, by using spatula, ironing that paper, so it can be removed. And very carefully we have to do it. these are the papers. You can see it's a diagram. It's a very important one, and we have to remove all the glue and all. So we are doing this. One thing what we are doing in the normal office, we use a glue, right? So after some days, the glue came up in the front face of the document, and it also damaged very badly to the documents. So this type of documents very, because for us information is very important. The authorized, all our authorized documents, and we can't say that chalo hum naya banate hain. No, we can't do that, because it's a historical documents, and it has a legal value. So we have to very careful while we making any historical documents and any legal value. Okay. So always maintain your record room is a dust-free environment, temperature, humidity. Always lights also impact very. So always put the lights in such a way it should not be heat much heater and all. The humidity, handling the material by the staff, you have to very careful. Even you have to thermal treatment in your record room, so the paste and all should not be the inject should not be came to your paper, should be damaged. And firefighter equipments are always ready if any things. So I have very much limited time. Always use, I already told you that 22 to 25% temperature should be maintained if possible. All the most of the libraries doesn't have a AC also. So maintain the air circulation in the your record room. It will be impact very well. So always do the periodical thermal treatment and all. Don't use any don't eat in record rooms. Don't any fire don't put any fire or heater things in your record room. Always Neptune ball should use, so the smell will be well. Always your record room should be not like most of the doors are wooden. If fire happen, the wooden door also get affected. So always use an iron door, and a fire alarm system is there. It will be a good one. You should be kept very well record room. So whenever person enter in the record room, he should feel good. Use such type of storage, so you will get the proper records safely. And this is the thank you for my side. Sorry, I have a little longer.
Thank you so much, sir. Such a wonderful information about the archives, records, stages of record management, importance of record management, the 3 C's of record, and functions of RVI. I'm very thankful to you that you but very wonderfully explained all these things. Sir has also told us about various documents that are preserved at National Archives and how these documents are preserved. And sir also told us about the significance of these documents. Sir showed us a video which helped us to visualize the things in actual. Sir has also cleared the doubts of the participants by answering their questions. And sir also told in detail about the curation and preservation process of RBI.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, can I take 2 minutes? I want to show one letter.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So please pause the recording. I want to show you one letter.
On behalf of organizing committee, sir, I express my sincere thanks to you for joining us on this, taking out time on the holiday and sharing this useful information with us. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm ending from our side.